Every now and then, there's a line from a video game that becomes so ingrained in nerd culture that it's almost impossible to not recognize it when you hear it. Our princess is in another castle, or get over here, or stay a while and listen, or do a barrel roll. Well, and come to think of it, speaking to do a barrel roll, you know what? Forget all that other crap. What the hell happened to Star Fox? Welcome to episode 25 of The Hills Have Nerds, the only podcast recommended by 9 out of 10 anthropomorphic animal spaceship pilots. And if you can't trust those guys, who can you trust? I'm one of your hosts.
Furries.
I'm one of your hosts, Josh. And as you can see with me today, we got Travis.
Hi.
And Aaron.
Hello.
And Cody.
I exist.
And Lee. We got the whole crew. All the boys are here, and you can see us in full HD glory. And hopefully you can hear us this time. Please, dear God, I hope you can hear us this time. Lord have mercy, I hope you can hear us this time.
Me too.
Yeah. Hey, how's everybody doing today?
Doing good.
A little hot, but I'm here.
It is hot.
I ate way too much, so I'm trying not to barf on camera.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I told Brittany at work, I was like, it's so hot that I'm pretty sure Shrek is telling people to get out of my swamp.
What?
Or no, it was Oscar.
What? What?
I was like,
What the hell did you just say?
He's just running around punching people, telling them to get out of his swamp.
My swamp. It's hot.
What, was that like a
more
swamp?
accurate.
Was that like a swamp ass joke? Like what was that?
Yeah.
Yes, that's what it was originally. Shrek is in your pants, telling,
Shrek is in my
arguing.
pants. Yeah.
Oh,
I just missed part of the joke.
dude, you stepped all over that joke.
I did.
He got lost in the swamp.
So why are we here today? Well, why are we here today? We're not here just to talk about Aaron's swamp ass. Why are we here today?
Well, apparently we've already forgotten the plot.
We've forgotten. We're here to talk about forgotten IPs. You know, in the intro, you heard us talking about Star Fox. We're going to talk about Star Fox. When the hell was the last Star Fox game? 2016?
16.
16, 17? Yeah. So we're going to talk about some forgotten IPs that we miss. Man, some stuff that hasn't had games made for a while. Stuff that we haven't seen merchandise for in a long time. Just kind of take a trip down memory lane and lament the loss of some of these great gaming franchises, and wonder where the hell they went and why we haven't gotten new ones. We got a little bit of a dive into some of those. But first, I got a question for everybody. Lee has already left. We've already lost Lee.
He got lost. He forgot.
I was like, get out of my swamp.
Get out of my... I didn't know what the hell he was talking about. I thought he had
He forgot Lee.
I thought he had a moment, like an Aaron
Gross.
moment.
I
Star
too
Fox Zero,
had no
gross.
idea
Okay.
what I was talking about.
Yeah, I genuinely thought you had just an Aaron moment, and I was like, I'm gonna have to call Brittany. Does he have his life alert on? Like, no. But I got a question for you guys. Do you all ever get like unnecessarily angry walking behind somebody in like a store?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, people bumble, like literally bumble. That's the best way I can put it. They bumble. Ba-doom, 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 ba-doom,
You just expect to hear the tuba.
Yeah, 110. Dude, I got behind this dude. I had to go to Walmart today because our HVAC system went out, and I had to get new filters. And I had to go to Walmart today, and I was walking out, and there was one door that was open. The greeter was like bumbling around next to the other door. This one guy was sitting there like completely leaned up like this on his cart, just ass pressed out, almost at like parallel to the cart, like presenting himself for whoever happened to walk by. and was
hopeful.
And was literally like just bumbling. Whoa, whoa, like just going so slow, and I'm behind him and I'm holding stuff. I'm trying to get back to work, and I'm like, what is happening? Like, I can't get through this small window because this dude is literally like wiggling himself leaned. I thought he was asleep, and just whatever momentum had hit him initially was carrying him. It was awful.
Slick spot was just.
Yeah, it was so frustrating.
What are you doing in my swamp?
Get out of my swamp. Get out of my swamp. Get in my swamp.
Uh-oh.
Oh, dude, it is so hot. Everybody's swamped. And our HVAC went out, so it was like 85 degrees in the house yesterday. It was so bad.
Yeah, usually we keep it like 73. I've turned it up to like 76 and 77 today just to like keep the strain down on the HVAC.
Yeah.
I'm scared.
Yeah.
I was like, please.
Yeah, we had them come out. Our condenser had gotten like compacted or something, and they came out and fixed it. My HVAC was underwater in the first flood, and so we've replaced so many parts on it. It's like the HVAC of Theseus at this point. Like my HVAC guy loves that joke. He called it when I told it to him. He called his wife to tell her.
We had a truck like that once.
Oh yeah, just every single part changed on it.
They had even cut it in half and welded a different frame under the back of it.
Is it the same truck at that point, or is it just some kind of strange chimera?
So it had the same title.
I don't know, but that's for another episode. Yeah. Today we're talking about bumbling idiots in stores and how much I hate walking behind people that walk super slow. They're not even fat people. They're not even fat people. No. Today we're talking about forgotten IPs. So what do we mean? What do we mean when we say forgotten IPs? We mentioned that a little bit before I ranted.
Yeah.
What were you saying, Aaron?
It's IPs that...
Are we going to go off of...
No, go ahead, Cody.
I was going to say, are we going off of any single game? Or do we want a broader, like it had to have had at least multiple in it? Because, one-off games might be a whole different topic.
That's a good question. I would say something that it had. I would almost say needed to have at least one or two. Had multiple games to it.
Like Legend of Dragoon, there's only one of those. So,
yeah. What do you guys think, Lee, Travis, Aaron?
I think multiples important.
Okay. Yeah. So anything that's had multiple games in the series, and we'll do like a one-off as a whole different.
Well, that would be forgotten franchises. I'm sorry, Aaron, I cut you off again.
Yeah. No, that's fine. Everybody else go ahead and talk.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
no, we don't want Aaron to speak.
You spoke first, and it was a horrible swamp ass joke. So I don't know if you have anything of count to say.
No. I screwed it up, and it wasn't this one. I screwed it up and it wasn't.
It was just swamp rambling.
Yeah, it was just rambles of a madman.
It was like
an opposite of Shrek.
It was like a kid just knew that quote and just ran in and go, "Get out of my swamp."
It was one of those the jokes from kids.
Yeah.
It's like the Do the Roar kid. Do the Roar.
I was just gonna say that I feel like it's any franchise that was supposed to like finish in a cliffhanger, like was supposed to have a continuation. Is what I feel.
I would. Sorry, go ahead.
They alluded to more, but didn't give us more.
I would push back on that and say, to me, like if we're talking about forgotten franchises, I don't even think they needed to like allude there was going to be more. It's just if you've had 1, 2, or 3, you'd think we were going to hit something else, whether 3 had a cliffhanger ending or not. But that
immediately brings to mind one game series, like straight off, especially when you mentioned like the cliffhanger. Because that's exactly what happened in Sly Cooper Thieves in Time.
Yeah, okay. Sly Cooper was one I wanted to talk about.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? Travis.
Yeah.
Travis suggested before the show a franchise that has had several games come out in the last few years. And has stolen Cody's game.
Resident Evil?
Yeah, I want to talk about Resident Evil for this.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, so Sly Cooper, Cody. Travis gave you some. Let's open up with Sly Cooper. So, what about Sly Cooper makes it a forgotten franchise?
Now, the first game in the series came out in 2002. Yeah, 2002, and it was a PS2 game, like an early PS2 game. And I think the next two came out pretty quick after that. It was like 04, 05, and then like 06, maybe 2 and 3. I can't remember. But they were all 04 and 05. So they were all, pretty fast. Yeah, the Sly 3 collection came out on the PS3 in 2010 or something. I don't remember. And after it came out and had done really well, they was like, okay, that team that made it was
Sucker Punch was the original,
but
for it, and
it
then
wasn't
Sanzaru took over for Thieves in Time. Yeah, so
they done the collection as well, and it's because they done so well in the collection. They was like, okay, we'll just let you guys handle Thieves in Time, and Thieves in Time got a lukewarm reception. Really, like it was okay. Like I enjoyed the game because I'm a Sly fan, so I liked it.
So
But-
was Sly, sorry,
Yeah, which one is Thieves in Time? Is it part 4 or?
Yeah,
yes,
Thieves in Time is part
Okay.
4,
and that's the one in
Did it come out on
2010.
PS3, PS4. Or...
PS3 in
Okay.
2013, and that's the last time we've seen Sly.
Wow.
Oh, so it's been
Technically,
12 years?
he may have been more recent if the PlayStation Battle All-Stars came out after that. I can't remember when it came out.
I think it came out after Thieves in Time because I'm
But,
pretty sure
I mean-
they used his Thieves in Time model as the in-game
I
model.
think-
But that's just like a fighting game with him.
Yeah,
using,
he was
right?
just
Like-
kind of like a cameo in
Yeah,
that,
I
like a
wouldn't
fighting game
count that.
character.
Well, it's like
his
Star
only
Fox.
game since. Yeah, his only game since then.
PlayStation All Stars released in November 20th of 2012.
Oh,
right
wow.
before.
Yeah,
So-
it came out right before.
What was PlayStation All Stars? Was that like PlayStation's attempt at Smash Bros?
Yes.
Yeah,
Exactly what it
And
was.
which also could be a forgotten IP.
Yeah.
Honestly, like the game itself played fine. It was
It was
you
nothing
could only
Smash.
it wasn't sumo wrestling.
What?
Smash is basically sumo wrestling. I got to knock you off my platform.
Okay. All right. Fair
This
enough.
one you could just like straight up like kill each other. It was,
Yeah. The only way to kill somebody was with a special, and and the
okay.
specials were not created equal.
No,
So
they weren't.
no.
I remember being ready to like chew a button off playing against Zach when he would play Nathan Drake and just absolutely roll me all over the
I
place.
played-
And I was like, I'm not playing this anymore.
Of course, I played Sly in Battle All Stars.
You never wanted Crash Bandicoot and Soul Calibur?
No, not really.
All right. So why hasn't there been a Sly Cooper? We have actually mentioned Sly Cooper in like the last like three out of 5 episodes or something. It just keeps coming up.
I've been playing it recently. I got a platinum on 1 and 2, and I'm starting on 3. So
Now it's a collect-a-thon, right? Is that what it is?
yeah,
like,
collectathon action platformer kind of.
yeah.
What is it they call mascot games?
Mascot platformer.
Yeah,
Platformer. There we go.
yeah. He probably
think
fall
that's
under
why
that as well.
Tactical
why we don't see a lot of it
espionage
anymore.
mascot platformer.
We don't
What's
see
that?
it.
Yeah,
What, Lee?
I think that's why that game we don't see a lot of it anymore. We haven't heard anything because mascot platformers, for the most part, kind of died off.
Yeah.
So
I mean, there was a mass craze of him for a little while, and I mean, honestly,
yes.
he came out after the craze died.
Do-
but
Do we think those are going to see like a resurgence? I mean, Astrobot was Game of the Year.
yeah, that's what they kind of have. Honestly,
Yeah.
I think so. We like that. A Hat in Time.
yeah,
the Astrobot. You have wasn't there like a in random dice rank game in random or whatever that was kind
Lost in Random.
Lost
It
in
was-
Random.
I was like,
Don't
Aaron
you-
likes that.
I have mentioned it several times.
Yeah, but it's
That
not a
was-
forgotten IP.
It's not a forgotten IP. They just come out with the game.
Yeah.
There
But
was
yeah,
one not long ago. It was like Lucky's Travels or something like that. And then there's like KO the Kangaroo or something like that. So they're starting to pop back up. But
I know the kangaroo is older.
I actually seen
Isn't it?
something about
It had a remake, yeah.
the Tasmanian
Yeah.
Devil the other day.
As
Yeah.
the master of those games.
We need a
Tied the
new
Tasmanian Devil.
We need a new 7-Up Doc game.
Tasmanian Tiger.
Cool. Yeah, Tiger. I was like, wow. I was
Cool
like, that
spot.
doesn't sound right. Yeah, we need cool spot.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, we need cool spot back. So why have we not gotten Sly? Fuck all these other ones. Why have we not gotten Sly? We're just going down. Hey, remember that game? This was a game. Remember that game? Why have we not gotten the Sly
Sucker
5?
Punch started doing something else,
Okay.
and they just weren't interested in making Sly anymore. I can't remember what it was because they passed it off to Sanzaru, and then after the lukewarm of Sly 4, they was like, we don't care anymore.
So what are we defining as lukewarm? Like, what was the reception there for Sly 4?
Like,
see how prepared Cody is for the episode.
Yeah,
How does they anticipated?
yeah. Well, it was one of those. Of course, a lot of people was asking for it, but I can't remember what the actual sales figures was. It wasn't a flop.
According to Wikipedia, just to throw out a couple of ratings and stuff that's listed on here, it is sitting on Metacritic with a 75 out of 100. It's mostly 6.5, 7 out of 10s. Eurogamer was pretty harsh, giving it just a straight up 6 out of 10. But I think a lot of it too was if you had played the first 3 games and then you went to Thieves in Time, the characters, they had their names. It was Sly, it was Murray, it was Bentley, it was Carmelita, but they didn't feel, at least to me, they didn't feel like themselves. It felt like here's this, we're gonna pick up where 3 left off, but we're gonna give everybody a brand new personality, and it just felt off.
They didn't quite hit the feel of the characters. Yeah, that was that. But I think it was also I was just looking at the quick thing for the sales, and Sly 1 sold 1.1 million units. Sly 2 sold at right 1 million. Sly 3 sold at 720 some thousand, and then Sly 4 opened on 500,000, I think. Is it
Okay.
Oh no, sold approximately 580,000 total.
That's pretty rough.
Probably sold more, but eventually. But
well, I'll tell you what I think happened then. Do you know what Sucker Punch's most recent game is?
No, what is it?
I can't remember.
Ghost of Tsushima, which sold 13 million copies.
That's a little bit more.
Yeah.
Sorry, Sly.
Yeah.
He's so cute, but this is money.
So Sucker Punch definitely, the Sucker Punch devs definitely listen to the Hills Have Nerds. Hear me out.
Yeah.
Ghosts of Slyshima. Let's put Sly Cooper into Ghosts of Tsushima.
Yeah.
Let's bring some of those guys back we lost. Let's bring them back.
I mean, I'm gonna say more than likely none of the devs working there are even the same ones that worked on Sly, but there might be a couple.
It's not that out of the question when you consider one of Sly's ancestors, Ryoichi Cooper, was around during that time period.
Yeah, we could put Ryoichi in there to fight with the Ghost of Tsushima.
Wouldn't that be a badass Easter egg? In Ghost of Tsushima, you can find, or there's just a little. It doesn't even have to be the anthropomorphic Sly. It could just be a raccoon or a tanuki or something. It's in Japan, right? You could have a little red panda. They're kind of
guy in a raccoon costume.
Yeah, that weird thing that Aaron said. I thought about something cute, but the weird thing Aaron said. Let's do that. Let's do that weird.
You have a guy in a full furry suit.
Yeah.
Full
you know what?
Furry.
Cool. You know what? Maybe just turn it into a dating sim. Let's do that.
I'm just gonna say, in Ghost of Tsushima, there are these little foxes that you can follow to find these shrines or whatever.
Yeah.
It'd be such a fun little Easter egg if you go up to one, but it's a raccoon. It's a ring-tailed raccoon, and when you walk up, you see a little Sly's cane. I have use my plushie to show everybody. You just have one of these sitting there on the shrine.
That'd be cool. That would be really neat. That'd be really cool. All right, so let's keep in that same vein of anything else anybody wants to add about Sly before we move on to another game.
No, I think that's a pretty cool idea to share though. Even though you might see something, I think even if you get Easter eggs, you see them show up in fighting games, compilations, racing games, Sonic All Stars, whatever. I would still consider that a forgotten franchise.
Oh yeah, yeah, and I think unless it's got its name as the title of it recently, it's not.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. It is starring in the game as a starring role.
Yeah. Just to finish this off, I just found this from the Wikipedia article for Thieves in Time. It says in August 2021, A reputable leaker backed up a claim that a fifth Sly Cooper was being developed, although neither Sanzaru or Sucker Punch were expected to return. Despite this, in July of 22, Sucker Punch officially confirmed that there were no Infamous or Sly Cooper projects in development, but didn't rule out future installments in either series.
Infamous.
They were working on
Really good one.
Yeah, they were done Infamous as well.
Mm-hmm.
They were working on a movie for Sly at one point as well. And it fell through.
So speaking of furry, nice, like anthropomorphic animals, let's move on. Let's go into another forgotten little forest critter, Star Fox. When was the last time we got a Star Fox game?
I think it was 2016 was Star Fox Zero.
2016. So we had our first Star Fox game ever was for the Super Nintendo, 93. I'm sure you guys played it. I played it. Had the wildest, like, I don't know, polygonal graphics. You know, had that kind of like, I don't know, attempted to be 3D thing
Mode
going on.
7. If there was ever a game,
super effects chip.
yeah, I was gonna say if there was ever a game to sell you on Mode 7, it was Star Fox.
Yeah. And it was just, I just remember playing it and thinking, what in the hell is this? What am I doing? Why does it look like this? And then it was, you know, the animals kind of going back and forth. And I was like, okay, well, I'll keep trying. So we had that in 93, and there were a ton of other Star Foxes like through there over the years, right? So we had Star Fox 2 or Star Fox 64 was our next one.
There technically was Star Fox 2 in Japan. We didn't get it.
Right. We didn't get Star Fox 2, but we got Star Fox 64. But we got Star Fox 2 for the Nintendo Switch collection.
Yeah. In, 2017.
Yeah, which it was a game developed in what, 95 or something.
Well,
we ended up
we
getting
initially
it.
saw Star Fox 2 when they did the SNES Classic, because as long as you played through the first like portion of Star Fox, you could unlock Star Fox 2 as a playable game.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't think I
that,
ever played on that.
Yeah, I didn't.
We had Star Fox 64. You had Star Fox Adventures for the GameCube. Like you had like Star Fox was a staple. Like you were going to get a Star Fox game for a Nintendo console all the way up until we got one for the Wii U, and then the Switch came around, and we haven't gotten a Star Fox game for the Switch.
There wasn't one on the Wii though, was there?
Nope.
Yeah, because we got 2 on the GameCube and then skipped the Wii.
Those are, I don't care what anybody says, the 2 that are on GameCube, Star Fox Adventures and Star Fox Assault, are some of the best Star Fox games that
I liked Adventure.
they released. Adventure's great. It was,
I didn't care for it, but
it was a giant departure from the formula.
Adventure was a decent game. It was not a good Star Fox game.
Yeah, I agree.
Real quick, for anybody that lives under a rock that
start off-
doesn't know what Star Fox is, just real quick. So Star Fox is you play as Fox McCloud. You are an anthropomorphic fox from the Lylite system, and you're fighting bad guys in space on like a rail shooter for the most part, right? And some of the games have like land combat, some of them have all that. But you're on like a rail shooter. That's where do a barrel roll comes from. That was Flippy. Did Flippy say that, or the rabbit?
Peppy.
Peppy. Is Peppy the frog?
No, that's Flippy.
Flippy's
Peppy
the
the
frog. Peppy's the rabbit. Okay, that's what it was. Peppy's the rabbit. Flippy's the frog.
Hey, look at that.
Yeah.
Hey.
Falco Lombardi.
Oh, how many? So we've mentioned 3 games. Lee's had all 3. Let's see if he can run the gambit.
Oh, okay.
We're gonna see if you can run the gambit of games we mentioned. If you have all of them.
I've got one that I'll be super impressed if Lee does have it.
Yeah.
Still on Star Fox. Do you have Star Fox Command for the DS?
I do not.
Oh,
Definitely not.
that was a weird one. That was a weird one in the entire series, because that one was on the DS and they didn't really do.
It's the only one that's ever been out for a handheld, right?
Yeah,
No.
that was the only one that was on handheld. I'm pretty sure.
Well, they came out with Star Fox 64 for
On the
3DS.
3DS.
The 3DS.
But that doesn't
yeah.
count. That doesn't count.
It's just a remake of
re-release.
64 though.
Yeah.
Command is
What?
its own.
I mean, Command isn't a
Yeah.
good game, but I'm gonna say, I think it counts.
It doesn't count, and you're dumb.
For a handheld system.
You're just trying.
I'll be
You're
done
trying
with you,
too
Aaron.
hard.
I agree with you.
Thank you.
But yeah, it's I do think it's kind of funny though, because like the original Star Fox, so Star Fox 93, Star Fox 64, and Star Fox Zero are all 3 almost essentially the exact same game.
Oh, yeah.
Not in terms of just like gameplay, in terms of like actual story. Like,
yeah.
Star Fox 64 is basically just almost a shot for shot of the original Star Fox.
I think Star Fox 64 pretty well was just a remake.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was. I think it was supposed to be just a remake of Star Fox
with the 64's updated
with
graphics.
3D graphics.
With these next gen graphics of the Nintendo 64.
God, I love Star Fox 64.
So that one doesn't count out there by the logic of the 3DS.
Yeah.
No, it's a different name. Different name. It counts. Different name.
Well,
It counts.
the other one's called Star Fox 64 3D. So
It was
Yep,
that one's
No, it's too,
that
it's
one's
the
just
same.
a port.
If you have
Different
at least 80% of the same syllable structure, you don't count.
well, the other
That one's
82.
just
I see my
one's just
goalpost.
a
I'm
port.
moving it. I'm moving my goalpost.
I'm gonna stick on that one's just a port. It's kind of like Resident Evil 4 going from like GameCube to PS2 to like there's technically differences between them, but it's the same game. And
Yeah.
anything else. But then the RE4 remake, I would classify as a different game.
Okay, so
it-
Star Fox 64 was just a remake of Star Fox in 3D.
Was it though?
Star
but
Fox 64
I don't know.
3D.
But
was
there's
just
big
a
enough differences
with
between them. I would
3D.
classify it as a different game.
We haven't had a good argument in a long time. Come on, go at each other.
But I
can get the claws
but
out.
I wouldn't classify Star Fox 64 3D as a different game. It's just a port.
Yeah, you idiot. What are you
I mean, it's literally in 3D though. Like in 3D,
Yeah.
that's pretty different, dude.
I
mean,
you can
pretty-
turn that off and play it.
You could, but I don't know.
And like 99% of people did.
To step up from the Super FX chip on the Super Nintendo to the Nintendo 64's 3D graphics, pretty substantial. What do you think, Aaron?
Yeah, but
I think
also Wolf, Andrew, what was the other two? They weren't
Leon and
in. Leon and Pigma. Yeah, they weren't in Super Nintendo.
New characters,
I've
new
never heard of
game.
this.
New characters, new game.
That's the rival. That's the rival team to Star Wolf.
Yeah. New
They weren't
characters,
in the
new
Super
game.
Nintendo.
Boom.
ever get-
Mic drop, Cody. You win. I declare Cody the winner.
do y'all ever get like random video game quotes stuck in your head? Because for the longest time,
Oh yeah.
speaking of Star Wars,
Never. What?
I have had because like while you're fighting Star Wolf, if you get a couple of shots on him or whatever, I love his
You're
VA.
good. But I'm better.
Yes, y'all
do
good,
that,
but I'm better.
All right. So why? So we've seen Star Fox. I feel like just. I mean, and I'm a Nintendo fanboy. I think we're all Nintendo fanboys here, like for the most part. Even though what you're doing to Pocket Pair is criminal, Nintendo, stop it. What I felt like Star Fox was like a staple. Like Star Fox was up there with Kirby, Mario, Pokemon, Pikachu for Nintendo. Like in the Nintendo zeitgeist, Star Fox was one of the heavy hitters. Why do we not have a new Star Fox? Why are we not got
What
Star
about
Fox for the Switch?
Starlink?
Starlink.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah,
So that was they were in that, right? Like the Star Fox people were in that.
they were
Yeah.
only available on the Switch version.
Yeah.
It did. I don't have it anymore, sadly. I used to have the whole R-Wing model.
Got it up here.
But yeah, it was you had like the little Star Fox pilot, you had the R-Wing, and things like that. Only, like I said, only accessible in the Switch version. But like even then, that was just kind of a
Kind of like an Easter egg cameo.
Yeah, it was just
kinda.
hey,
yeah,
it was to sell toys, is what it was for.
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah, because Starlink, for anybody that know what we're talking about, Starlink Battle for Atlas was like this. Was it like an adventure RPG type thing where you could buy
didn't play.
spaceship toys and put them in almost like Amiibos or Skylanders type deal?
Yeah.
Essentially, yeah. The idea behind it was that the original story was like you were part of some space exploration team, and you would kind of hop planet to planet.
You can see,
And you could, yeah,
Star Fox, right there. Star
you
Fox.
could, you could upgrade stuff. One thing that I will give the devs credit for, you didn't have to buy the physical ones. You could buy digital versions and just switch stuff out digitally. But where's the fun in that? We as adults love to throw away money on just useless
on plastic.
Yeah, pretty much, or cardboard.
Yeah.
I wish I had the
goes back to
Skylanders money back.
Yeah.
What were you saying, Aaron?
Of digital versus physical stuff.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But you could get like I remember the toys for. I didn't remember anything other than like they advertised you could get Star Fox in this, and that's kind of what made me think back because I haven't played a Star Fox game in a while. Like I played 64. I played the one for the Wii U, Star Fox Zero, but we went 10 years between Star Fox games, didn't we? Like we went
Roughly,
10 years until Star Fox Zero, and then now we've been another 10 years since Star Fox Zero.
Yeah, Star Fox Zero wasn't received very well. I think that was the big issue.
I think the Wii U wasn't received very well.
Yeah,
Yeah.
The Wii U was that game's biggest crux, which just
They also done the motion controls on it, and that was the only way to play
Oh,
it. You weren't allowed to play without it.
you
And
had
it was
the gyroscope that was in the pad.
yeah, and it was whenever you wanted to aim, you would hit a button, and then you could move the gyroscope, and you could move your reticule around, and you'd be able to shoot in a different direction while you were flying.
Just like
But
this.
if you weren't,
around the
pretty
house,
much.
just wandering around doing it.
yeah, but if you weren't pressing that button, the reticule didn't recenter. It stayed where you put it. So if you forgot that it was over in a corner, it was kind of a mess to try to get it, situated back in that.
Yep.
So it,
Yeah, Zelda did the same thing with any of the Wii U ports. They did the remakes. They did with the boomerang and stuff. I immediately turned that off. I was like,
Yeah.
no.
Well, you couldn't
At
turn
least
it off
those
in
gave you the
Star Fox.
option.
Yeah, you couldn't turn it off in
at least
Star
those
Fox.
gave you the option.
You liked it, Lee?
Dude, I loved it in 3DS, like the Zelda 3DS or whatever. I loved that. I loved it in Breath of the Wild to aim with it. Then also, like even in Resident Evil 4 for the Wii, dude, I loved aiming with the. But
Really?
I'm also just really, really bad at first-person shooters on controllers, so this is much more accurate for me than.
I think that's another.
I got so used to that, so
Yeah, I think that's a whole other thing though, right? Because Resident Evil 4 Wii Edition is a Wiimote that's about yay big. The 3DS is, about yay big. The gamepad's like this. It's just big.
and I mean,
Two big thumbsticks. It's an awkward way to hold your hands, and you've got to.
And
sit
again,
there.
like in defense of the other ones, whenever you weren't aiming, your reticule recentered itself so that whenever you hit the button again, you started in the middle again. Star Fox Zero didn't do that for some reason.
Looking around the room trying to figure out where your reticle is.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was just a mess.
Yeah, I mean, that's 100% what you had to do. It was awful. It's really bad. I remember it. Now I'm you know what? Screw it. We don't need another Star Fox. I don't want one.
PTSD. Go, I'm back.
I think part of it too, and this is something I hadn't realized until I watched a video recently by maybe GameSack. I think it was GameSack. How many flight simulators do you see anymore?
Ace Combat. That's about it.
That's the big one, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, Microsoft Flight Simulator, obviously.
Yeah,
and then
Flight
Ace
Simulator.
People
Yeah,
do unreal things for Microsoft Flight Simulator.
I
yeah.
feel like they just make them just to sell the like
Cockpits. Yeah.
Yeah.
cockpit things. Like that's it.
You're kind of a forgotten game, like forgotten type of game or whatever.
But
You don't see a lot of that.
you'd think with like the Switch and the Switch 2 that the Joy-Cons and being able to like move that around, like that would lend itself really well to Star Fox.
I didn't think it would, but I guess they kind of shied away from it after Zero for whatever reason.
I don't want to step on any toes, but back to in case this is your one of your IPs that you want to talk about. But what about Punch Out? I mean, that's the same sort of idea, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's a good
Punch-Out
one.
games, like boxing games, are kind of not even a thing anymore. When was the last time you saw a boxing game?
I think.
I mean, Punch Out was on the Wii.
Yeah, it was on the Wii. It was like Punch Out.
There was one recently. It was Creed. I think it was like possibly a movie tie-in game or something.
It probably
I think
was.
ours-
Creed was. I mean, I
it
guess
was a
you got,
VR only game though.
So
you
our
got like
last
the UFC games.
our last Punch Out was on the Wii. Doc Lewis's Punch Out.
2009.
That was
2009.
That was a WiiWare exclusive, is what that one was, and it was just a training session between Little Mac and Doc Brown.
Yeah, they had another one before that.
Doc
that
Brown
was
or Doc
like a-
Lewis? Doc Brown's from that's Christopher
Or Doc
Lloyd.
Lewis.
From,
I think you said Doc Brown earlier.
no, I said Doc Lewis.
I heard Doc Brown.
I know you did.
The one that came out before that was it just Super Punch Out again?
I think so. I thought so.
Yeah.
And I mean, I think the final round of it is against Donkey Kong.
Yeah.
One man versus one gorilla.
That was the Wii. That was the Wii Punch Out, and it was I think it was called. It may have been called Title Defense Mode or something, but the idea was that you started with Glass Joe and you had to go all the way through and not lose a single fight. And after you defeated, I think it was Sandman, then Donkey Kong would literally like swoop in and just like drop down with these huge DK emblazoned boxing gloves, and now you're just fighting DK.
Yeah,
it was just called Punch Out with two.
Oh, it's just okay.
Yep.
I'm looking at the wiki page
because there was Punch Out on the NES. There was what was the
Super Punch Out?
Well, there was another one in between that was like a Punch Out sequel, but it wasn't. It was like base.
Well, you had Punch Out on the NES that had Mike Tyson, and then you had had Punch Out with Mike Tyson, and then you had just Punch Out where they removed him and it was Mr. Dream instead.
So you're talking about Power Punch?
Power Punch 2.
Yeah.
There was no Power Punch 1.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
And then I guess Power Punch 2. And then
Power Punch 2
Super Punch.
Aliens.
Yeah, and you had the Super Punch Out on the Super Nintendo.
This is how we bring Star Fox back. We bring Star Fox back, and he gets to land on the ground and fist fight aliens, and we do Star Fox Punch Out.
Well,
Isn't that just Smash Brothers?
Yeah.
I do want to point out. I think. Okay, did you guys ever play Mario Baseball? Any of those?
Yeah,
Super Sluggers?
Sluggers.
Okay, do you remember Donkey Kong punching a baseball?
No.
That was the thing, right? He just had a glove, and he would like. I always saw that, like even as a young man, I would grimace. I'd be like, "Oh gosh!"
Have you seen the commercial for? I mean, it was Japanese only, I think, but for the Sega Saturn, they had that Segata guy. They have him sitting there, and they was talking about one of the baseball games, and they throw a pitch, and he kicks it like barefoot, kicks a home run.
Good God! I stubbed my toe on a coffee table the other day and had to sit down for 2 hours.
Yeah. Which I mean, it's a commercial, so dude didn't kick it, but
TikTok
Power Punch 2
recently
is on Steam.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, it's $8.99 right now.
I just want to
Means
share
Little
this
Mac's
funny,
not in it.
Yeah. No, you play Mark Tough Guy Tyler.
You think you're so tough, Mark? Tough guy, Tyler.
Travis been
That's
trying
my
to
middle
share a
name.
Twitter post for the last like 10 minutes.
I know, it was just a thing that I saw on TikTok because it was really funny.
Oh, TikTok.
It was because you brought up Mario Super Sluggers. Each player has their own team name. So Mario's got his own, and everybody. Well, Diddy Kong was in that game, and Diddy has his own. His team is called Diddy's Survivors.
Wait, really? Really? No shit. No. You're lying.
no.
You're lying. Hold on, I'm Googling this.
That's great, man. It's like the good news is that there's a lot of people that can try out for that now. That team, so a great sample of people for Diddy Survivors.
Dude, try to Google Diddy Survivors. It's not,
I don't
not
really
the
want to
game.
Google that.
It's not the game. Hold on. Diddy's.
Mario Sluggers Diddy's.
There we go.
As soon as you type in Mario Sluggers Diddy Survivors
Kong
is the thing that comes up.
Diddy Survivors. Holy crap.
That's hilarious.
That's real. It was prescient. Nintendo knew. They knew. They saw the evil before anybody else did.
They tried to warn us.
They tried to warn us. Good Lord.
Diddy Survivors, Diddy Ninjas, Diddy Tails, and Diddy Redcaps.
No.
I mean, I think it goes all the way back to the N64 with Slip Sliding Away or whatever that star was.
All right, Aaron, what do you got?
Anyway.
What do you? So we want a new Star Fox. I'd like a new Star Fox for the Switch. Something that's not just him in Smash Brothers or whatever. Aaron, what do you got? What's your forgotten IP?
He forgot.
One of my I've forgotten already. Shrek. That's
Oh no.
No, actually, my first one I want to talk about was Red Faction.
Oh wow,
that's a good one.
Red Faction, is that like the RTS?
No, it started out as an FPS, and one of the later games, the Red Faction Guerrilla, they
Red Alert, is that what I'm thinking of?
You're thinking Red Alert, yeah.
Yeah, Red Alert's the RTS. Red Faction was really cool, and the guerrilla warfare got real big. Cause I remember it came out during like the 360 era, and like everything was you could destroy. Like the entire
I remember people going through with like hammers, beating walls down.
That's all I did in that game. If I could fight an encounter with my hammer, I fought it with that freaking hammer.
100%. That's all you needed. It was like you need to go in and infiltrate this building. Time for a sledgehammer. I'm busting in this wall. Here we go.
I mean, there was literally nothing more fun than like getting up to the building and it's like you need to destroy this compound, and it's just like, all right, set every mine that I can, trigger them, and then just go ham on a sledgehammer and just tear the place apart.
Yeah, those ones that was like you have to kill somebody on this specific floor, and it was like, all right, well, I'll just go through and knock all the floors out from beneath them and watch them fall.
Yep.
Yeah, it was, and you just
modern problems require modern solutions.
You just set those mines and just blew everything up.
And they released Red Faction Armageddon to a resounding puff of air.
Yeah, I didn't play Armageddon.
Was that the last one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. The last one was Red Faction Guerrilla Remastered in 2018.
That's not the same thing, dude.
It's a remaster.
That's the same thing. It's
not the same thing. Yeah.
Not the same thing.
Actually, it's not, because it's not remastered, it's remastered.
It is remastered.
Oh, different
What
names.
a stupid name. It is re-mars-turd. Remastered.
Okay.
I didn't play that one either, but it was a great game. I loved that. Like the other ones, it was really cool because you could, for the multiplayer setting, the AI bots, you could customize like their trying to think of the word I'm looking for.
Loadout. AI, their loadout.
Their personality, their AI personality.
Oh,
you could customize that, and that was really cool. And that was a revolution. It was like on the GameCube.
I think I remember playing like Red Faction 2. Like I remember playing one of the Red Factions, but I really played a ton of them.
Played on the PS2. It's either Red Faction 2 or like Guerrilla or something. I can't remember which one it was.
On the PS2 is probably Red Faction 2. Either 1 or 2. I think those were both on the PS2 and GameCube era, and then Guerrilla Warfare came out for PS3 and 360. And then
I played a little bit on the PS3 or 360 with somebody. I can't remember.
Yeah,
not much.
Armageddon, I think, was PS4 and Xbox One, which is why I didn't play it, because I didn't.
Yeah,
I had a PS4 real late in the game and didn't own an Xbox One.
So this is like one of the only ones that we're going to be talking about that I think at least of mine that I've noticed, where we have like a solid answer of why they're not making anymore. Like THQ literally came out and was like, "This game sucks. You guys didn't buy it. We're not making any more of them."
Yeah. Well, it didn't help that THQ also filed for Chapter 11 in 2012, and the IP passed over to Nordic or Deep Silver, and then Nordic Games purchased the IP, and then in 2018, Nordic Games sold it again to Coach Media. So Coach Media has it currently, but
starting to sound like Duke Nukem bouncing around there.
Yeah,
it's Coke.
Is it Coke? Oh, Koch. Yeah. Coke. Okay,
like the Coke brothers.
I think Duke Nukem was also THQ, wasn't it?
I think so. There's a lot of those
at one point probably
FPSs that were
THQ touched a lot of stuff, dude. So.
Yeah.
That actually, you know what? You all mentioned THQ. Anybody remember Darksiders?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, of course. That's a good one, dude.
Yeah. God, I missed that series.
Dude,
so
Darksiders was like Selena
3?
or Felicia the cat or whatever. Was that like the cat and the werewolf?
No, that's Darkstalkers.
Okay. What is Darksiders? I'm thinking
you play as so the first
4 horsemen, right?
Yeah. So basically, what it was it essentially it was the Tale of Revelation kind of thing. The first game you play as War, and you essentially spoilers for anybody. I highly recommend that you play them. Essentially, what ends up happening is that War kind of gets tricked into breaking the last seal and bringing Armageddon to Earth. And it's what?
I'm just watching Lee. Like Lee's what?
He didn't want spoilers, I assume.
Oh, yeah. Okay. You didn't
Go ahead.
want spoilers.
Just give me a thumbs up when you're ready.
Yeah. Okay. But essentially, all it is that like you bring Armageddon to Earth, and then each subsequent game was something different. I'm just going to talk. Do you consider gameplay stuff spoilers?
And at the very end of it, they
Okay.
I don't want to do basically.
It's like an action adventure style kind of game. Very very relatable to like the 3D Zeldas, where it's very like go to this dungeon area, get this very hyper specific item that clears the dungeon, and then you can go back to a previous dungeon and like, I can clear this puzzle or whatever.
Yeah, I played part 2 and it was really enjoyable.
Yeah,
they're all on sale on Steam currently.
Oh, really?
There are 4 of them, and all 4 are like different gameplays. Because the first one's like Zelda action adventure. The second one has that, but it's more of an RPG, more of a level system. You can upgrade weapons and stuff like that. The third one's a Dark Souls style game, where it's more built on like making sure that you're learning like to dodge properly and parry and
but
stuff
we
like
got Darksiders in 2019. I mean, that's relatively recent. We got a Darksiders in 2019. I don't know if I'd call that like a forgotten
Was that
thing.
3?
And even then, right here we have
came out in 18.
Yeah, we got Darksiders
on Steam.
Genesis. It's a spin-off prequel of the main series. We got Darksiders Genesis in 2019. And there's a fourth so this isn't even a forgotten franchise. They are making a new THQ Nordic showcase in 2024. Gunfire Games and THQ Nordic revealed that a new Darksiders game was in development. It's not even forgotten. No, we got to shut up about it. Travis, you just wasted so much time. Good Lord.
We just shared incredible news with people, dude.
Yeah.
That's great. But if you like Darksiders,
I didn't know that.
I didn't either.
We're learning things. We're learning things. That actually looks really cool. I've not played a Dark.
I've heard good things about all of them.
That looks really good.
Darksiders Genesis
was 3D
fun.
Realms.
Aaron, you're gonna have to turn your mic up, dude. You are low, like you're getting drowned out by people.
Oh, you're just quiet there now, like nothing. Jump like it.
Nothing.
There you go.
Me?
Yeah, there
now?
you go. Yeah, a little bit.
Yep.
So you said
but
3D
Duke
Realms
Nukem
for
was
Duke Nukem?
3D Realms was the developers, and 2K Games is the most recent publisher
For
Okay, for
what?
some reason I was thinking THQ was attached to that. My bad.
for Duke Nukem.
For Duke Nukem?
THQ for Duke Nukem. Oh, okay.
Yes, 2K Games was a publisher, and 3D Realms is developers.
Well, recently, I think Duke Nukem passed between multiple in his like 13-year hiatus. I think he was owned by 2 or 3 different studios, but I don't know what happened and all that. I don't remember.
It was originally Apogee Software, and then 3D Realms.
I Googled it, but the first result I got that says anything about it is this Google AI result, and I have no idea if that's like true or not. So I'm not gonna read that out.
Yeah.
All right, what else? What else we
Duke
got?
Nukem's just a mess. So.
Well, I'll get into the one that I actually wanted to talk about. Darksiders was just a tangent. Golden Sun, and nothing makes me more sad than the fact that we haven't gotten a game in that series since 2010 with Golden Sun Dark Dawn on the Nintendo DS. Not even the 3DS, the DS.
So elevator pitch Golden Sun. What is Golden Sun for people that don't know?
It is an RPG that is very heavily based on their version of magic, which is known as alchemy. You go around the world, visit a lot of different locations. You're the force of good. You try to stop the force of evil. The fun thing about it was they played off of the summon spirit mechanic of the Final Fantasy games. The difference being you collected these things in the world called Djinn, D-G-I-N-N. Each one was representative of a planet. So you had like Venus for Earth, Mars for fire, Jupiter for like wind, thunder, and then Mercury for like ice, water. And depending on the combinations with which you use them, you could change the character's class, which changed the magic they could use in battle, and also summon different summon spirits in the fight. This was a game that was originally released on the Game Boy Advance all the way back in 2001 was the first game. And it was so fun. It was developed by Camelot. Anyone who's a fan of RPG should recognize that in Camelot. Their other games are escaping me right now, but Camelot was like known for some of like the most high tech. Let's see here. They did the Shining Force games. They weirdly did Mario Golf.
Known
and Power Tennis
to be a bastion of innovation of its time. Mario Golf.
Yeah.
They did a lot of the Mario Sport ones for they did golf for Nintendo 64 and Game Boy Color. And they did the
Sorry,
three golden.
Did we talk about the Shining Force, right?
Yeah, they done Shining Force.
Yeah.
Didn't you just recently play Shining Force or something, Lee?
Oh, yeah, I've been playing a lot of Shining Force, dude. A lot of it. So
they were good.
Golden Sun,
And I mean, Golden Sun 1 was really good. I played it, and I played the Dark Dawn, and Dark Dawn was, I think its biggest sin was being extremely mediocre. And like it just fell in that, it basically just fell in a rut, and people forgot it. Like it came out and reviewed apparently okay, like decent, but it hit that, well, it's not as good as the rest of them, so meh.
I think the story that they tried to go for, I liked, because it's not like a typical story plot you see in a lot of RPGs where like you actually play as the children of the original heroes.
Okay.
And like they're still around, mom and dad are still around, and you can interact and talk with them and stuff like that. But I think it was trying to sell itself on the fact that it was a DS RPG. Like, oh, check it out, this series is now in 3D.
Yeah.
And it really, really leaned way too heavy into that to like make its numbers.
I know you're super busy playing Children of Mana, but can you please play this?
Yeah.
Is it really an RPG if their parents are still alive?
I mean,
That's a
you're
good
right.
point.
You're right.
How you gonna brood? Well, they got.
Yeah, exactly.
Mom and Dad made me clean my room. Now we're gonna kill God.
Chrono Trigger, his mom's still alive. I don't know about his dad. I don't think he wasn't there, was he?
I don't think he ever said anything, did he?
Don't remember.
I don't even remember if he was
anything,
there.
but like,
See,
Yeah.
not a true RPG.
When or both your parents are alive.
So why don't we have any more Golden Sun?
Nintendo forgot about it. I mean, it's. I
think it's just that whole. Everyone forgot about it after Dark Dawn, Dark Dawn.
Which is wild because like anytime Smash Brothers has come out to say that they're coming out with DLC, one of the first characters that I see is Isaac from Golden Sun. Like top of the charts, like we want Isaac.
I mean, he showed up as assist trophies in Sense Brawl.
cool.
I googled.
So
sorry, go ahead, Aaron.
So as I say, quick search on Google, it said that Camelot's focus on Mario sports games and the mixed reception of Dark Dawn was and the franchise's aging mechanics is why we don't have another one.
I saw somebody on Twitter, or not Twitter, but Reddit, said Camelot needs to stop kissing Nintendo and make something worthwhile. Too busy. So they're too busy working on Mario Shuffleboard.
I mean,
We got Mario Lacrosse coming down. He's invited Bowser
Mario
out for a game of lawn darts.
Mario
Cricket.
everybody, 2027.
Mario Croquet. Mario Croquet.
Mario Croquet would actually probably be pretty good.
I feel like Nintendo's like, come on over from Sega, stop working with Sega and work with us for a little bit, and they're like, bam,
Just lock him in a dungeon with like a big bag of like sports balls, like a bunch of different sports. They're just like, what do these make you feel about Mario?
Nintendo, can we get a Dead or Alive Extreme version of like Mario Volleyball, please? Thank you.
What the hell's that? What's the sport where they like brush the ice like extreme speed sweeping?
Oh, shuffleboard?
No, not shuffleboard.
Curling.
Curling. Yeah,
I
that's
love
what we need.
curling.
Dead or alive. Extreme curling.
Oh man, you know what? I'd play the crap out of that.
Just a
Mario
Yana
curling. You got to do Mario curling so you can just throw shells at somebody.
Oh,
Yeah.
dude, there was Mario curling in Super Mario 64 for the
Olympic
3DS. No, for the 3DS, they had like there was a curling mini game on it where you throw you would throw the shells.
Oh really?
Yeah. So they've already done it. I bet there is Mario.
They have
lacrosse
Mario and Sonic
out
at
there.
they have
Winter
Mario and
Olympic
Sonic at
Games.
the Winter Olympics. Yeah.
That's so crazy. I'm more on this Dead or Alive. I think we're on to something. We have come up with a lot of good games today.
There we go.
Like we're kind of cooking, you know.
So when are we going to put the Dead or Alive characters in the R-Wings and have them go fight Star Fox?
Everybody wants to see Ayane do a barrel roll.
Zero gravity, baby.
Think tank is what we are. Think tank.
All of this is copyrighted Nintendo.
Yeah, by them.
Yeah.
OC, do not steal. OC, do not steal.
OC. All right, who hasn't said one? Lee, have you said one? You talked about one a little bit. What do you got? What's your forgotten IP you want more of?
I really wish I would have thought about this, dude, because you know what would have been perfect is for me to have like a shrine set up for Castlevania to be like, turn around.
But, I mean, what? Right here behind me, you can see mine.
I have a lot. Oh yeah.
You just see Lee's lights go off, and then he comes back. It's just Castlevania everywhere.
Open my cape and balls fly. Open my cape and like this.
Open your cape and show your balls. What is happening? Get out of my swamp.
Get out of my swamp.
Get out of my swamp.
That's the
Diddy gonna be
episode.
Diddy Kong's gonna be changing his character, his team name to Lee Survivors.
Oh shit! I don't even know if this is lit. Craig won't pick up any of this because when you laugh loud, Craig doesn't pick up shit. So I'm hoping the Discord capture gets this. I don't even know if it's listenable, but good God!
Open your cape and Dracula's balls fly out, dude. You know how Castlevania works. Yes.
It's not even Castlevania. This is just stalking simulator or flasher simulator.
Flashing simulator. That sounds like
I mean, all you see is like Dracula. He's always just curled up like this. Whenever he gets out, he goes boom.
Yeah, it's the Castlevania DLC for flashing simulator. You get Dracula's cloak instead of that brown thing, the Inspector Gadget outfit.
Oh yeah. He's selling watches. Thank you.
All right, so you want Castlevania back?
I do. So in 1986 was the first Castlevania.
Okay.
I'm a huge fan of Castlevania. Absolutely love it. It might actually be my favorite franchise at this point. It used to be like between Mario, Mega Man, and Castlevania.
I watched you stream a lot of it.
I love it, dude. I love Castlevania. I like vampires. So we had the dark days of Twilight, but now it'll be okay. Yeah. We've had our meetings, you know. I'm like, they don't sparkle. They don't sparkle.
Making a comeback from Nosferatu.
Nosferatu was awesome.
Nosferatu
I really enjoyed it.
And he hung dong in it too. Like, there you go. There's Dracula's balls.
He opens his cape and
it's right there. And that's what people want, apparently. You know, they want the riskier Dracula. You know,
I was there, dude.
Especially whenever he's the old man. You know, like the book.
All right. You know what? That's for Cody. That's just special for Cody, but that's okay. You can have it.
I cannot think of Castlevania and Dracula without thinking of my favorite quote from the Netflix series, which is, I don't remember who it is, but it's the Belmont of that series just runs up and starts punching him. He's like, "Oh, I see. You're a Belmont."
That's forever. It is in the first season.
Yeah.
It's like, you must be the Belmont. All right. Because there's not anyone else that is insane enough to just run up and punch me in the face.
All right. So you want Castlevania
as a forgotten
back.
franchise.
Really?
Well, yeah. As a forgotten franchise, I think it fits. However, we do have like shows. That's been really nice. We've had a couple of 3 seasons of a show on Netflix now, and
It was 4 seasons. Well,
4. There was
Technically 4, but first season was only 4 episodes, and then season 2 and 3 and 4 were all like 10 of the first series, and then they had Nocturne is on 2 seasons now.
Yeah,
Is it?
I had 2 seasons.
2 seasons.
It's,
Okay.
every bit of it's wonderful. I have no trouble recommending it to anybody.
When was the last game, Lee? Yeah, when was
Lords
the
of Shadows 2. Good call, man. It was 2014.
Yeah.
Wow,
Yeah,
really?
There's been collections released since then. Like the Advanced Collection came out in 2021, but I mean that's just but that's just a collection of the old games.
Yeah,
they didn't.
That's
have
nuts.
New.
It feels like again. I think when I think of IPs, like I think Castlevania. Like that's a heavy hitter, man.
What is? Yeah. Oh, okay. No, this is an arcade game. Castlevania Grimoire of Souls.
Do you
came out in 2019?
Now, what was that?
Castlevania Grimoire of Souls came out in 2019, but it's a mobile game. So.
Oh.
When was the last?
The Lee wasn't poor enough to play those yet until he started getting sponsorship.
Yeah.
The last actual new game was Lords of Shadow 2 in 14.
Yeah. 14.
Yeah, and even those are like not seen as canon now. Like they're their own little like timeline. But
I can see that.
I think they're great.
Well, I mean, those games were also kind of their own downfall, you know?
Yeah. I mean, I thought they were, well, I've only played a little bit of part 2, but part 1 I loved. But it was very much them trying to reinvent Castlevania, restarting the story, and then making it more, trying to fit it into a more popular genre at the time. And so
it was
God of War.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'd always heard it as a comparison as a fusion of like God of War and Shadows of the Colossus.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah, absolutely. That's it. And I thought it was very good. I actually have a T-shirt from pre-order and everything I still own. I put it in my little T-shirt drawer of I can't wear this anymore. So, I no longer fit in this.
I have too many of those. My daughter's
and then there was it was like, let's see, the last 3 were all part of that series. It was Lords of Shadow 2, and then Castlevania Mirror of Fate, which also fit in the same world. So I guess they started the reboot and then gave up on it.
Mirror of Fate was closer to like traditional Castlevania gameplay, though.
2.5D, I guess is what you would call it. Right? Yeah. So it was more of a side scroller, a little bit of puzzle aspect. It was nice.
Why no new Castlevania games?
That is a good question. So the
Konami,
pachinko. It's like that's the thing. For years, Castlevania fans have been scorned, and we're like because we keep seeing like pictures from Japan of pachinko games that Konami's put out, and it's just with the Castlevania.
Well, that's until recently. I would have said Silent Hill as a forgotten, but they just got a remake of 2, and then a couple others because Konami's making games again outside of pachinko.
They found out they could make more money having someone else do the work by making movies and shows and pachinko machines.
Yeah. Yep. So, let's see. Okay, so all we have right now is we have no promise of a new game. But we have, the show, which again, the show is wonderful. I watched season 2.
It's gotten like really good reviews, right?
The first series is incredible. Like I love the first series. I've not watched Nocturne yet. I'd really like.
Nocturne is also wonderful.
Really good.
Yeah. So, dude, the last season of Nocturne, I cried like 6 times. I don't know, something like that. It was just constantly over it. If you're a fan of something like that, it's just overwhelming. Kind of like where I was in the Super Mario movie. Like it's great. It's a fun movie, but the whole time, dude, I was just overwhelmed. So,
I loved it. I
sat by myself, and my kids, my wife, and my child will sit close during the Super Mario movie. I was like, just let me sit by myself because I was just constantly just crying, honestly.
Oh, for the Super Mario movie?
Castlevania, dude.
Yeah.
Yep. Love it, dude.
I got that way.
My childhood.
I got that way with the World of Warcraft movie.
Oh, really?
I really did. And then Endgame was that for me.
Endgame's incredible. So
yeah,
the scene where like everyone shows up and the whole big charge happens in Endgame.
Yeah.
Like I was sitting in the movie theater just like bawling my eyes out. I was like, this is cinema. This is what it's supposed to be.
The first time we watched it, I cried from Norton movie theater until Pike County. Which, for anybody that doesn't know where we live, it's about a 30-minute drive. And I started crying when Kat picked up the hammer. So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of how I was with Castlevania. It's like there was frequent in the last season. I watched the whole thing. I binged it. Like I would pause it because I was just like, I'm gonna have a heart attack. This is so
emotional.
Good.
Yeah,
I
haven't watched it. I need to watch it.
They're
good.
It's so good.
Now, do you think that because it's so good that is going to play into the chances of us getting a new Castlevania game?
You would think.
I would hope so.
So, right? Yeah, that's what.
It's like
that's what I thought.
Iron's hot. But I mean, the show came out. It's been out for years now.
Yeah,
really?
I mean,
it feels like it's been recent.
Nocturnal just
17. It's whenever the first season of the first series came out.
Holy shit!
So 8 years.
Really?
It did.
And I mean, the first one is a retelling of what Castlevania 3 kind of. This Trevor Sypha Alucard. Alucard, I don't think shows up in 3. It was the old man. Can't remember his name, but it was Trevor Sypha and that old man. Okay. And then Nocturne is a retelling of Rondo of Blood, and is it going to go into Symphony of the Night or?
I don't know. It veers off, but it's basically around that same ish time. So,
I have a question for you, Lee. Being the super fan that you are for Castlevania, say within miraculously tomorrow Konami announces a new Castlevania thing, whatever. Do you want it to be traditional, or do you want it to be more of the Metroidvania style of game? Like, what would you want? That's fair.
Yes.
If
they were like
at this point,
dude, if they were like Castlevania Judgment 2, I would be like, yes, just something. This game is garbage. I just play
a Castlevania game.
Castlevania curling. Made by
exactly.
Something to get that fix.
Yeah,
absolutely.
He's jonesing for another.
There's actually a game that came out yesterday. I mean, today's the 24th. In case that listen to the podcast later, there's a game called Chronicles of the Wolf. And I'm kind of like chasing the dragon at all points, dude. There's a game called Chronicles of the Wolf.
I just seen an ad for that.
Yeah, so it's inspired by Castlevania.
Yeah,
and it looks awesome. Yeah. So I'm trying my best right now not to order that off Amazon, but it's real tempting. Then there was Bloodstained. We kind of lost Castlevania. We lost Igo Kugurashi. Is that it? Igo Kugurashi is his name?
I don't know.
Me look up.
He's got made Symphony of the Night, and so we lost him from the team. And then he made his own game. He made Bloodstained. Now Bloodstained is continuing. It is not Castlevania because they can't use Castlevania, right? But Koji Igarashi. There we go.
So is this kind of like a Banjo-Kazooie ukulele type deal here?
Absolutely.
Yeah. It is a spiritual successor.
Okay.
And it is.
Go check out our episode on spiritual successors if you want to hear about that.
I've not played Bloodstained. I would like to. I did play. Well, no, I've not played the anime art style one. I played, what was it, Circle of the Moon, like the old 8-bit style one. And that one was really good.
I watched you play that one.
That was fun.
Yeah, so both of those are awesome. There's a new game coming out for Bloodstained. But we are seeing Castlevania in other franchises, kind of like Star Fox and Starlink, I guess, because there was Vampire Survivors has a Castlevania DLC. Then there's another vampire game. I can't remember what it's called. That was it, man, and it has a Castlevania thing to it as well.
Yep, it's got a whole DLC pack. Like, you can look like Alucard. You can make your castle look just like Dracula's castle.
I know this is a little off, but Bomberman R, there was Castlevania skins for some of the characters. You could get Simon and Dracula.
Might have to go buy that. So, but then there's also there was that game, Dead Souls. Dead Souls also has a Return to Castlevania.
Yeah,
which is a DLC that you play like the characters from Castlevania.
I want to play Dead Souls. It looked like it was good.
It's freaking hard, but it's good.
It's a really hard roguelike. I need to get good at it because it's so fun, the little bit that I played of it.
Yeah, not to go off on that, but the way the game is set up for the Castlevania part of it, you have to go through like the normal stage, and then you find your way into Castlevania. So you have to start a run, and you find yourself in Castlevania. And I kept getting in there. I'd be like, yes, finally, like 1 out of 10 runs, I'd find Castlevania. You get in and basically immediately die. So I haven't seen very much of it, but I keep playing. So, but yeah, there's that. And then it seems like there's something else. Oh, we got them in Smash Brothers. We got Simon and Richter in Smash Brothers. exciting.
Yeah.
I wanted Dracula. I was really hoping to see Dracula in there as an actual character.
He made it as a boss.
Yeah, he's a boss. And Alucard is
Assist trophy.
Yeah.
Right. Big fan. And I really hate that we've lost that. It feels like it would be a great time to see that. I mean, like, up to the point, I'm watching True Blood again on season 4.
You're so jonesing for vampire content. You're watching True Blood again,
dude. Yeah. I mean, I wonder how much that might be an interesting point to make, and maybe some research, and I don't know, it might be a spurious correlation, but to be like, how did Twilight kill Castlevania?
Is that no? Real quick question about True Blood. Now, I'd like to like quick fire some of these IPs because we got a ton, guys. There's a ton of these that really, I mean, in my opinion, I'm sure in the panel's opinion here and the guy's opinion, that deserve to be continued. But so, quick question, Yuli, is True Blood the one with Joe Manganiello in it as a werewolf?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. I love that man so much.
Yeah.
He's amazing.
Every time I look at him, I'm like, my goodness, that man is like sculpted.
Giant nerd too. Giant. You know he's a giant nerd, right?
Like, is that the Joe Mangan? Is that the guy that's playing Crocodile in the new One Piece, like the live action?
He was the soldier guy, Soldier Boy.
No, that's
Jensen Ackles.
That's Jensen Ackles from Supernatural.
Oh, those guys kind of look alike, don't they?
Joe Manganiello, whatever. Joe M. played. He played Deadshot. He never actually got
Manganiello. Yeah, he's playing Crocodile in the live action of One Piece.
That's the Netflix One Piece, right?
Yep.
It's pretty good. Nobody's watched that. It's solid.
When you see all these like wild IPs popping back up, and it might be stuff. I'm not suggesting some of these are dead, but like you see like the Turtles brawler that came out, you see the Power Rangers brawler that came back out. It's like why are we not seeing Castlevania? Like that's money.
Do you think it's because like the Turtles and the Power Rangers are really like dipping into that '90s nostalgia? Like, because like we as '90s kids are now we're pushing 40. We got money to burn. Well, maybe, hopefully.
Some of us have money to burn.
Yeah, well.
Yeah.
I think
How
it's
much of
also
this
some
is
like side media. Like just saying that like I know Turtles was going through a huge renaissance in the comics here recently, especially with stuff like The Last Ronin, which I think just got a sequel series. But Turtles has been doing numbers in the comic series. Power Rangers, I think the main series either just ended or is quickly approaching its end, but like a lot of their comic series, they just did a sequel series to Power Ranger versus Godzilla. I think the show is still going. I don't know who owns the show right now because it's bounced around from person to person. But
Turtles also just got a game last year, so
I think they pretty consistently had games.
Yeah, they do.
Out.
Yeah,
there's a new one coming out that's I'm pretty sure it is actually based in the Last Ronin universe, and I want to say if it's not made by Rocksteady, it's going to be made in like the Arkham Asylum, Rocksteady style of game.
Yeah. That's the Arkham Asylum people, right?
Yeah,
dude.
Yeah, it's in development. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: The Last Ronin.
Dude,
the first trailer just
Nordic.
Yeah, 1 month ago they dropped a trailer. Yeah,
that'd be good.
Neat. So, what are just some quick fire stuff? Some games that we'd like to see because we're nearing the end of the show.
Jack and Daxter.
Yeah, I was going to say Jack and Daxter.
What the hell's Jack and Daxter? No, was that I get Jack and Daxter confused with Ratchet and Clank.
They're very similar. Yeah. Jack and Daxter had the
he's hunting for it. Look at
red rodent.
Jack and Daxter's the human with a rodent. Ratchet and Clank's the rodent with a robot.
Yeah.
Okay. So when was the last one of those? Sorry. When was the last one?
I just looked that up. 1 second.
Jack. I remember that.
Okay, the last original game, not counting bundles,
PSP,
was,
right?
Yep, 2009's Jack and Daxter: The Lost Frontier on the Sony PSP.
Okay. Yep. Aaron, you said Eternal Darkness. I remember that for GameCube. Darkness. So good. Now, were there two? There was only one of those, right?
There's only one of that.
Only one.
That'd be awesome to see, though.
That's not a franchise.
They had originally planned for a sequel. They had originally planned for a sequel.
Yeah, dude, it was amazing.
They dropped it because argued with Nintendo, and Silicon Knights went under in 2014, and Nintendo's been focusing on, friendly family games for a while.
Mario Lawn Darts. Dead or Alive. Dead or Alive Curling.
Dead or Alive Extreme Lawn Dart.
Hang on.
Aaron, I believe that we will see an Eternal Darkness.
I
really think that'd be really good.
You think so?
They actually apparently they got the license for it, or renewed the license. They renewed the IP. That's what I was trying to get. They renewed the IP.
That game
feel it
last year
scared the hell out of me because it was the one that would mess with your TV, and that was when we didn't have flat screens we had CRT TVs that all kind of had the same little volume thing.
Travis,
yeah. We had those, and it kind of knew what the volume thing looked like. Like at least for mine, it almost matched it. Yeah, identical. And then it would have like bugs crawl across the screen, and that was unheard of.
It would just go to a blue screen too. It's like just randomly.
There's a point in the game where your character stops receiving input, turns around, looks at you, and shoots you. And you see the crack in the TV screen.
Yeah, your character's head could fall off.
It was the sanity mechanic.
Yeah, the screen would go black, and it would just start making noises like things were killing you. So you're like, "Oh, you're not trying to," and it would just come back, and nothing had happened.
Because the game had a sanity mechanic, and as your sanity began to dwindle, the game would do things like that to mess with you as the player, not you the character, which was
like the one that made it look like your GameCube reset, and it told that the disc data corrupted. Mm-hmm. You were like, "Oh no!"
Yep.
It's nuts. Absolutely nuts.
I think we will see another one. There's been a lot of weird stuff. Like, what was there was the I did a video on it a while back. It's been I don't even think that video's up anymore. But there was Detective Stories or something that Nintendo redid that was only on Famicom. Oh. Maybe it's called Famicom Detective, actually.
It was Emio was the new one, right?
Yes. Yes. So I think with stuff like that, Nintendo dipping their toes back into some weird stuff like that, why not?
Famicom Detective Club?
Yeah.
Yeah, Famicom Detective Club, and the one that we got recently was, or announced, or whenever it came out, was the Emio.
Yep, and then we, we're talking about these weird franchises and things popping up. Dude, I never thought we would get a Dark Crystal tactical RPG.
Yeah,
a flip. Where did that come from? Somebody was like,
they released
a
tabletop book of that not super long ago.
That's wild.
I'll tell you IP that I would love to see come back is the black and white games. Anybody play those?
You talked about that either in an episode or us just sitting around doing stuff. Can you please explain that one again?
Loved Black and White and Black and White 2. So it was
two gods.
Yeah, that's where you are a god. It's a god game. So you're building a town. You're performing miracles. It was very, very. I don't want to say bare bones. Bare bones is not the word I'm looking for. But the UI was very clean when you opened up, and everything was kind of based on clicking, dropping, moving. You were a hand, and the whole point was you were kind of at battle with this rival god, Nemesis. His name was literally Nemesis, and so your cursor was a hand, and you had a creature, and you were doing miracles for townsfolk to gain favor and gain worshipers to grow stronger, and you were trying to extend your influence over these islands, and you'd move through the islands was progression of the game, kind of winning over these people. But you could do it two ways, and it was very much this kind of moral decision making game, and the AI for it was so ahead of its time. Man,
makes me think of probably not as advanced as those, but ActRaiser on the Super Nintendo.
Yeah,
I don't think I ever played that.
He plays
it's the same idea. You playing as a god trying to do favors and help the town out and build, and then eventually you actually spawn down and play a side-scrolling section where you go and kill the monster that's bothering the town, and then you just move on to the next town.
I think the big difference would be that he's benevolent, and then
you don't have a choice. Yeah, you don't have a choice.
You absolutely have it. Your character, your character is the hand, but your kind of citadel, this temple they've constructed to you, it changes your creature's view, visage, how it grows and develops, changes based on the moral decisions you make. Like a villager could come up to you and say, "My lord, we're praying." You can hear them praying in the house, and you can go over and listen to what they're praying for. And it'll be one like, "We're praying, we need food, we can't feed ourselves." And you have an option. You can, and it doesn't like give you like a quest pop up or anything. You have an option. You can drop grain on them, or you can drop grain on them and drop grain on his wife and kill her. But then he has food. And that will affect the moral outcome. You can just smash their house and kill them. And then they're not hungry anymore, right? You could actually give them what they want, and it was really, and your creature would interact and stuff. And so they would, worship the creature, and you could teach it tricks and teach it to perform miracles. And you had to do like a hand system, like a symbol system with the cursor to make, spells cast and stuff. It was really cool. It was by line. Yeah. Sorry, Aaron, go ahead.
You had to make runes, like symbols.
Yeah.
Symbols to cast spells and stuff.
It was by Lionhead Studios, and I'm pretty sure Lionhead did Fable, the original Fable. Moral back and forth. When I think of
good moral systems, I think Fable. That was one of my first. That was my real first exposure to that sort of thing, and it was awesome.
And then we got Black and White 2 in 2005, I think. So we got Black and White in 2001 and Black and White 2 in 2005, and haven't had anything since. And I think it's just like tied up in IP hell at this point.
Yeah.
It apparently, EA is the publisher. They're having trouble with them. So.
Yeah. Who would have thought?
Yeah, Lionhead and its intellectual property. Yeah, they were purchased by Microsoft, while EA returned the publishing rights. So
we have 2,000 IPs under our belt. Let's feed 30 of them.
Anybody want another Halo?
Embracer.
Let's get another Halo out there and do something.
All right, Microsoft and Embracer Group.
Yeah.
What else? There's one like big one that
Fatal
we'd be
Frame.
remiss if we don't talk about.
Fatal Frame for me.
The McDonald's games for the Sega Genesis.
Hey, there you go.
The Shaquille O'Neal's basketball for the SNES.
We need another Shaq Fu. The one we got on the Switch wasn't good enough. We need another one.
Fatal Frame, Cody.
The
Fatal
bad
Frame?
enough, Cody.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, sorry. It's a survival horror in the vein of like a mix between Silent Hill and Resident Evil. Like it's not as grotesque as Silent Hill, definitely. But this one is you're using a camera to fight the ghosts. So like you take a picture of them and the camera is capturing their soul, basically. That's how you keep them from killing you. You can get different types of film that does more damage to the ghost or slows them down or whatever. But the first one we got was in 2001. It's on the PS2. And I think PS2 and Xbox both. And then the last actual new game we got was Fatal Frame 5, Maiden of the Blackwater, in 2014 on the Wii U.
Didn't you guys get a game in 2023?
It's a remaster of Fatal Frame 4.
Well, those count or not? I don't know whose side what was on. What does Lee have a be right back in 5 minutes post it? And I can't read that. I don't know what he's put on. And it fell apart.
Okay. But yeah, the Fatal Frame series, I really enjoyed those.
He wrote a note. It fell down. That's fantastic. Yeah, I thought every time I heard Fatal Frame, at no point did my mind go to frame like camera,
yeah,
like photo, like FPS.
It's a pretty interesting game. I watched Cody play some of them.
That sounds neat.
Yeah, they're pretty cool.
Yeah, it's that was the first one. If you can.
Yeah. Okay.
And
yeah, see, camera. That's perfect.
Yeah, camera.
Your camera is flipped, isn't it?
No,
I'm reading the boxes are backwards because I'm reading the snow taste yelp. Snow taste yelp.
MR Planet. Let me see if I can.
It's got you mirrored.
I can fix it.
That's all right. That's all right. We won't worry. It's fine.
Yeah.
It's okay.
But
I got what you're talking about.
If you can see the back, it actually shows where they're using the cameras.
Okay, kind of. You got a little bit of
see
glare,
that.
but we can see that.
Yeah, that's. There you go.
Hold on. I got to see what in the hell Lee did.
Your note fell down.
What?
Your note fell.
Did you put like a BRB in 5 minutes note or something?
I tried to make it big enough that said P time.
We saw nothing. Just saw yellow. You stuck it there, and then as you walked out, it fell down.
I was like, I want to pee on myself.
Why did you just say I gotta go pee?
I didn't want to hear that, Cody.
Oh,
I was trying to wait.
So showing them Fatal Frame.
Oh, nice.
All right, so we're nearing our hour and a half. I think we're over our hour and a half. But just real quick to mention, I don't think you can mention Forgotten IPs without. I know there's probably people listening to this going, "Why have they?" They're definitely going to talk about this. Why haven't they talked about it? And at this point, they're screaming at their car stereos, their phone, or their TV. They got us on YouTube, whatever. Half-Life 3.
Yeah,
I was going to say any Valve game.
Portal, Half-Life.
because they can't count to 3.
Gabe just can't count 3. He's made a Half-Life game. He made the VR game.
Half-Life Alex. Yeah.
Yep.
But it was a side.
Heard it was
Wasn't it a VR thing?
Yeah, it's VR exclusive.
It's so weird to me that we've gotten so much support for Counter-Strike and nothing for Half-Life.
That money.
I get it.
Brings in that money.
But-
even though Half-Life would bring in the money.
Wouldn't it though? It's folklore. I think at this point, if they released one, the internet would just lose its mind because they want it so
explode.
bad. I don't think they could release anything that would live up to expectations.
Well, and we got a teaser. Do you remember, what was it? Not too long ago. Was it last year?
It was at the start of this year.
Start of this year. We got that teaser with the guy that played G-Man.
Yeah.
Did like a video and was talking about how long it's been and all this and that. And he was like, "See you soon." And we were like, "Oh, another Half-Life." And then nothing has come of it.
Yeah.
I think he done that on purpose just to see everybody's reaction. Then he sat there and laughed evilly.
I guarantee you.
So when did Half-Life 2?
Thing to do.
When did Half-Life 2 come out?
It was a PS2 game, I think.
Yeah, Half-Life 2 came out
Sold 12 million copies.
2004. Like, how do you not like? So for a Nintendo game, if Nintendo breaks like 800K on a game, they're pretty well like that's pretty good. We're cool with it. If Nintendo breaks 1 million, like you're getting another game. This game sold what 12 million? You said, Lee?
Yeah. I mean, Tears of the Kingdom only sold 20. That's The Legend of Zelda, though.
Yeah.
So that's something to think about. But then Ghost of Tsushima sold more of the copies than Half-Life 2.
Really?
So it's like, I get it. Like,
That's because
the numbers game sucks, but
they were hoping for that Sly
How long
Cooper
has it taken it to
DLC.
sell that? Yeah, how long has it taken to sell that 12 million? Like, was it initial or has it been over the many years?
That
Because
is-
it was included in the Orange Box and on Steam.
Yeah.
as of February 2011, the total sales, including digital copies, reached 12 million.
Oh, okay. So it's
14
got
years
another
ago.
14 years. Yeah. Okay. So it's
wow.
probably higher than that now.
Yeah, I just don't, because my son started playing it. My son, he's 17. He just recently picked up those games.
Yeah.
And
Gabe,
sorry, go ahead.
go ahead.
No, you're good.
No, Gabe just has an issue with counting to 3. I mean, we haven't got another Portal. We haven't got
Yeah.
Portal 3.
They're popular
and then-
games.
Yeah.
I think it at this point, it is folklore of the gaming world. Like there's a mythos around Half-Life 3. And I almost think they have a duty to not release it. To let it's like this. It's like if the Loch Ness Monster ever got caught, or if you caught Bigfoot. You know what I mean? Like it's always in these whispered hush circles. Oh, new leak about Half-Life 3, or new leak about which we we got an actual hint at it. You said earlier this year, or last year, or whatever. But it'd be like if aliens were real. If someone brought up, here's indisputable or irrefutable proof that aliens, not UFOs, if aliens were real, somebody would be disappointed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it would not live up to somebody's expectations.
I'm pretty sure that happened a few years back. I'm dead serious. I am pretty sure that our government
As
literally
UFOs.
laid it.
It's UFOs.
Yeah.
Those,
Yeah,
and
but
then
like laid it
UFOs
all
can
out,
be
and
all
everyone,
kinds of different-
and everyone was just like, "Huh."
Yeah, okay.
And,
Yeah.
and then immediately moved on.
There was some other stuff going on.
Yeah.
Valve has released Half-Life 1, Half-Life 2, Portal 1, Portal 2, Team Fortress 1, Team Fortress 2, Left 4 Dead 1, Left 4 Dead 2.
Isn't there a Left 4 Dead, like a Left 4 Dead 4? Is that not?
No, it's left. That's how you spell. It's left. The number 4.
I was just thinking why would you not go to 4? There's a Left 4 Dead. That marketing writes itself.
Yeah, and there's Back 4 Blood, but
Yeah, Back for Blood.
That's
for
what
blood,
it is.
that's a different.
Yeah,
which is a spiritual successor.
Yeah.
To Left 4 Dead,
but you also have Dota and Dota 2. You have.
I forgot Valve made those.
Yeah, they can't count to 3. Gabe I think he has a fear of the number 3. It's my only explanation.
All right.
I mean, I didn't realize that it was so bad with sequels or whatever, but I mean, really, sequels don't sell as well as the originals typically. So even like you got Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, which undersold. So
Maybe that's what it is. Maybe we got to deal with it, and we got to learn to embrace these new fantastic IPs that are coming out, like Madden 2036.
Oh, that says a bajillion copies. Isn't it?
Yes.
yeah.
All right. We want to know, what is your favorite forgotten IP? We want to know what game you think needed a sequel or a threequel or a fourquel or whatever have you. Let us know. Email us at hillshavenerds@gmail.com. Come on our Facebook. Come inside our Discord. Come hang out on YouTube. Come talk to us. We have a coffee. Do you want to support the nerds? Do you like what we do? Do we bring happiness to you? Do you like laughing at our silly antics and a bunch of old dudes talking about toys? We have a coffee where you can and swamp ass. you can donate to the nerds. You can become a member on Coffee. You can get all kinds of neat bonuses like shout outs to the show, shout outs and mentions in the show notes, all that good stuff. Come over to our Coffee. Links are going to be in the show notes. Participate there. Let us know what you think. You get exclusive access to the Discord where you can vote in polls for show topics, or get access to viewer only questions, things like that. Come check that out. Hang out. It helps us a lot. The biggest thing you can do for us is take a few seconds to leave a like, leave a review, let somebody know if you like us, let somebody know about us. Word of mouth, share, all that good stuff. Comment, talk about the nerds, talk about all the nerdy stuff we all love. Guys, Lee, where can the people find you if they want to talk more about Lee?
you can find me on Twitch at twitch.tv/pixelbrolee, or also on YouTube at pixelbrolee, where I talk about RPGs and such. That's mostly where I'm at nowadays. So,
Cody, how about you?
You can find me on Twitch. It's twitch.tv/coffee break lounge. I'm usually just once a week over there right now. It's playing just kind of random stuff as I go along.
Travis?
You can find me in the editing dungeon because I have a 4-day turnaround on this episode.
3-day turnaround, Travis. 3-day turnaround. Today's the 24th. It goes out on the 28th. I got to have it on the 27th.
Yeah.
Aaron?
Probably dressed as Shrek, running around downtown, telling people to get out of my swamp.
you come downtown dressed as Shrek, I'll get in that swamp.
Ooh.
That's not going to get any swamp.
Oh, I'm coming home this weekend, Lee. Better look out.
All right. And with that, we are out, guys. Have a great time. Have a great summer. Hope your summer's going great. Have a great time playing whatever you play. Let us know what you're doing. Come talk to the nerds. Thank you for watching. Take care.
We are the Hills Have Swamp Ass.
Get out of my swamp.